Why don't we do a take two?
Wait a minute, let's start again. Hello.
Hi, this is Ron Vodri.
This is Alex Nussbaum.
This is Jason Fraser.
This is Matt O'Brien.
Hey, this is Ray Zwicker.
All right, world. My name is Cal Post.
Guys, this is Christina Walkinshaw.
This is Eddie Deliseppi.
This is Adrian Spencer.
My name is Timo.
And you're listening to the Julien Dionne
You're listening to the Julien Dionne Comedy Hour podcast.
Who am I talking to? What am I doing?
Julien Dionne Comedy Hour.
You're listening to the...
Comedy Hour. See, I took the word out comedy. Changes the meaning completely, doesn't it?
Days and not really, I'm overworking, but days and the holidays. Happy holidays. You're listening to the Julien Dionne Comedy Hour podcast.
And aren't we all?
Now broadcasting live and totally uncensored, from Lemon Press Studio in the beautiful Gatineau Hills.
Project. I was like half asleep on the couch and now I'm projecting.
Hey everyone, this is Christian Potenza.
This is K. Trevor Wilson.
This is Jean Paul, a.k.a. the Island Hipster, hashtag hipster business.
This is Steph Tola.
Hey, this is Jake Goldsby.
This is Sky Wallace.
Hey everybody, this is Erica Sigurdsson, aka Ricky Siggs.
Okay, hello. Hi.
This is Howard Wagman.
Hey, this is Peter Anthony, the PA system.
This is Matt O'Brien.
Some people that's my rap name.
This is Jen Grant and you're listening to the Julien Dionne Comedy Hour podcast.
Show.
You and me belong, just like the flowers, laughing all day long. People, I need you loose. Sing a little song, then take a shower. Julien Dionne.
It's a show. It's not an hour. It's a show. It's okay.
Such a beautiful waste of time. A waste of time. A beautiful waste of time.
Good morning.
A waste of time. I went to school, yeah, I learned a lot. Got a degree in what
Welcome to the Julien Dionne Show with Jen Grant. There's Jen Grant. To my left, your right, if you are tuning in on video or watching us. Tuesday, brand new episode. Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. Broadcasting to you from Lemon Press Studios in the beautiful Gatineau Hills. Hi. Hey. Available across all podcast platforms. If you could do us a favor and go rate the show, review it. If you've got an iPhone, just go on your Apple Podcast app, the purple app, if you never use it. Everyone's got it. And leave a review of the show. It helps. It helps us grow. It helps us get out there.
Definitely.
And as you know, we do record the show live Mondays through Fridays at 7 a.m. So you can take part of the recording. Sigida. You can take part of the recording and the interactive part of the show. Jen Grant is on comments.
Yep.
So you can be part of the process, if you will.
I will.
Executive Chef and Chopped Canada champion Matt Pennell joins us this morning.
Can't wait.
In about 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. What time is it? We started a little late.
7:10.
Yeah, so I guess we'll plow through the beginning of the show and
plow on through.
Get him on. I'm excited to talk to him. I wonder if... Because Chop Canada is a big deal. I wonder if it's like, okay, I've done other things. You know what I mean?
I wonder. I don't think so. I think he seems like a really nice guy who's like excited to talk about it.
Well, coming up shortly, if you are watching live,
I'm obsessed with Chop.
Any questions? Yeah, it's a great show. If you have any questions for Executive Chef and Chop Champion Matt Pennell? Round of applause.
And how could you not have questions?
Drop them in the comment section on whichever platform that you're watching, and we'll get to them.
Yeah, exactly. What you said.
We finished. How are you feeling, by the way? Vaccinated?
Fine. Yeah, I got vaccinated yesterday.
Got the Moderna.
Julian is not a good person to have around because you always freak me out. Before going, you were like this. Come here, I want to do a demo. I'm allowed to do it. You were like wiping the thing and then dink.
Cotton swab. Describe it.
And then, the cotton swab on the shoulder and then with his finger pretending to be the needle. Like, that's not comforting. Like, he did that a bunch of times. And then afterwards, he's like, how do you feel right now knowing that spike protein is in your system just circulate? I'm like, okay.
No, but it is fascinating technology that like now your systems are on the defense.
I don't like thinking about that.
But you didn't even have an immune response. You're pretty... Do you feel tired at all?
No, but when I was talking to your mom, she told me she got the vaccine and she got hyper from it. I find your mom, she never has any complaints about her health ever.
I know.
I like her attitude. And I was like, yeah, why can't I just choose that I'm going to be hyper? Because she said apparently with these vaccines, you can have a response like that because it boosts your immune system.
Right.
I don't know. Your mom's always glass half full.
So walk us through the process when you went for people that are either it's coming up, i.e. me on Friday, and others that may be on the fence. Like, did you have to wait in line?
No.
Were people really friendly?
Yeah. Well, the woman understandably was overworked. She expressed that to me and I told her.
Oh.
I know. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I don't
mind
mind that.
Tired, not enough breaks.
Well, yeah, she works 15-hour days. And I wanted her to know how much I appreciated her, and how much we all appreciate her because I said, we can complain about, I'm so bored.
I know, but I don't
home.
want that kind of with someone that's about to enter me.
Enter you. It's a bit dramatic. Enter you.
Well, it's like, I don't know. I feel like I want the bubbly kind of.
Well,
it's all good kind of.
Suck it up.
Not
Sorry.
the disgruntled.
Well,
exhausted.
Well, she probably doesn't want to be on the front lines doing all of, imagine the people she has to deal with.
Yeah.
And I just wanted her. I just was overly kind to her because I was like, thank you for doing what you do because we can complain about being bored at home and wishing we could hang out with our friends and family. But you know what? It's a luxury to be able to stay home. She has to work and do all of that and, be around people, expose herself, all that. So anyway.
So how long did it take in and out?
In and out. So you have to wait 15 minutes afterwards. Just sit there to make sure you don't have a reaction. And so I would say in and out 25 minutes.
What kind of reactions
Max.
could you have in the 15 minutes following? That's gonna be me. I'll be like, oh.
Well, I remember
Is there
when
a cookie?
cookie. I remember when my niece was young, like a little kid, she got one of her rounds of vaccines and she did have a reaction right after. It was like right after.
Right.
So I guess if you're going to have, she ended up being fine, but if you're going to have a reaction, you'll have it. Many of them, I guess, will happen right afterwards.
And when you get there, because it says on the appointment you can only show up to 5 minutes before, no more than that.
Yeah.
They take you right away. I'm freezing. The last couple days, my cold shower in the morning.
Hold on to your tea.
Hold on to your teeth. I thought you were going to say that. Hold on to your arms you up.
Yeah, I found it's interesting because when I got there, I saw where the vaccination was going to happen. And there was a box of disposable masks in front of the door, and you have to change your mask.
Mm-hmm.
And there's little tweezers, you know, those, have you seen people do that? They take the tweezers to pick the mask instead of putting your hands in it, which makes sense.
Are we talking eyebrow tweezers or tongs?
Kind of like that, like a little oversized eyebrow tweezer. Yeah, but mini tongs.
Are we talking eyebrow tweezers or chef tongs on brand?
Ooh, snap. Oh, I thought you were going to give yourself a ha-ha-ha.
That doesn't deserve a ha-ha-ha.
It was cute. Anyway, so I found it interesting because as I was sitting there, first of all, two things I found interesting. People were just standing there like, I don't know, not checking in with anyone. Hey, I'm here for a vaccination. They were just standing in the waiting room. It's like, well, why don't you go and say...
Is it... So it's in the pharmacy. Where's the waiting room? I don't understand.
Well, not waiting. There's like a waiting area where the pharmacy is. Have you never noticed that? There's chairs and benches.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm nervous even just going through
so
the
they're
thing.
just standing there, and then... And so she's like, vaccination? Is that how you say it?
Yep.
And she yells it. But people, she's like, you got to change your mask or whatever. This guy puts his hand right in there. I'm like, do you not see the mini tongs that are there? Like, hello.
Did you say something?
No.
Hello, mini tongs.
Puts his hands right in there to grab it. It's like,
hello, mini chef tongs.
Anyway, Ken said put hand sanitizer on and pick up the mask. Yes, except there's also the tongs. I mean, if they're right there, why would you go, oh, move these tongs out of the way. I got to put my hands right in and grab that mask. So annoying. People are annoying.
So then...
That would bother me if I was the nurse. I'd be like, hello.
It's clearly bothering you and you're not the nurse. What?
Oh, Ken says everyone handling the tongs is no better, but they don't handle the tip that you pick it up with. They're just picking up the handle.
Yeah, but then you take the edge, the side with everyone's meaty fingers on, then you put that on your mask and you...
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know?
Okay, all right.
So then, getting past the tongs tweezer thing.
Wendy says that is what I was thinking. Let the nurse hand them out. Yeah, that's a good point.
So...
Yeah, that's true, Ken. I get.
Jeez, we're obsessed with these tongs now.
Anyway,
after the tong debacle,
what if there should be a clear list: sanitize your hands, pick up the tongs, or even just Anyway,
you get there, you sit down, you've got your mask. Let's get to the vaccination.
And I'm waiting.
Vaccination.
So then I'm waiting there, and she calls. She doesn't call your name. Usually an appointment, you would do that. So maybe it's... Anyway, so she goes, okay, ready. I go in. And she says...
What do you mean she just locks eyes with you and goes, ready? Like she doesn't call your name?
No, I just saw someone leave, so I stood up and went in. Like, I was like, oh, should I come in now? And she's like, yeah, come in. So then she says, do you want to do your left or right shoulder? And I was like, oh.
Oh, they give you the choice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go right.
And then I said, what do you recommend? That was a weird question.
You really said, what do you recommend?
Well, because there must be a reason. Why is she asking? It's like, it's not, I'm so out of practice with social skills.
What is this? The daily specials at the restaurant? See, we're on brand today with...
Why? That machine is too close to the microphone.
Tinny?
Ugh. You're so proud of that.
What do you recommend?
I know. It's like the fish or the steak. Anyway, but I mean, there has to be a reason why people choose one over the other. Like, why are you giving me a choice? And then I thought,
what do you recommend? I can picture you there all nervous. Like, what do you recommend?
It's sore right now. And I already have a sore left shoulder. So I was like, do I do the sore one or do I do the... And what are you right-handed, left-handed? So then I thought, should I do the already sore one? I should have thought. So you should think about it.
I'm
So-
gonna go right. I feel like.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
No.
Well, why'd you say think about it and then you're like shutting down my idea?
Because I'll give you a reason.
Why?
Because you're a right-handed person.
Perfect. It'll give me an excuse to
What?
not do anything for a couple
No,
days.
you'll still have to do things. And then you'll be like, why did I do this? Do your left.
Think I'm gonna go right.
Don't.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, personal choice.
No.
Okay, you're irrationally upset about this. It's weird.
Anyway, so
And then does she do countdown?
no.
Like guide
She
us through
just pinches your shoulder
right away.
and then
You feel it going in.
Oh no, she does the cotton swab, and then she did this. I noticed to.
I'm
dry it-
right here.
Dry it. No, she
Oh,
was
I thought
drying
you were
it.
trying to get my attention.
She was drying it with her hand, waving the spot to make sure it was dry before we went in, and then she did this.
Can you describe
No, I'm
we're a
just
radio
kidding.
show?
You know how you do the thing and you tap it.
Where you tap the needle,
Tap the needle. No, she didn't do that.
or not the needle,
So
but the.
she really warmed up as I was nice to her, which this is my new thing that I love doing when people are grouchy, and she has total. I can understand why she's grouchy. She's entitled to a bad day. I love to be overly nice. Overly nice.
So you're admitting that she was grouchy.
Yeah.
I don't want a grouchy nurse.
Too bad. Suck it up.
No, she should suck it up.
You should suck it up.
She should suck it up, then push it in.
Oh God. Anyway, so anyway, she's like this, waving it to dry it, and then she put it in, but she kind of pinches your arm like this. Like
I need to be treated like a child when I go on Friday, holding my hand.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
Go ahead. You want me to go in and hold your hand?
I'm done. Yeah. No, not you, the nurse.
Wendy has an idea. Your arm does hurt after. She said, so maybe which side you sleep on? Because last night I found it annoying. Like I was aware of it because I sleep on this side.
I'm having trouble figuring out how to sleep lately. All of a sudden, my arms are in my way. My shoulders are in my way. I sleep on my back. I snore. I'm like, I need a massage table where I can sleep with my face in a donut hole. I feel like I need. Would that be weird if we had like a bed?
That would be nice.
Every night we go to bed.
They must have that.
You get in the king size bed, and I'm like, good night, and I just unfold this massage table on the other side of the room and just.
They must have pillows like that.
Yeah, but then you can't breathe if it's a pillow and it's
That's
against
true.
the thing. But I can't figure out how to sleep. 37 years old. I forgot. Last night I'm trying left side. I'm like I'm injuring my shoulders on both sides.
Yeah.
Sleeping.
I'll show you
My
a new
arm.
technique I have.
I don't know what to do. My arms and
I
I'm
have a
like
new technique.
overthinking sleeping.
I have a new technique. I'll show you.
What is it?
I can't. I can't.
Hanging upside down in the
I
closet.
need to show you. It's kind of like you hang upside down in the closet. I'm not a bat.
You sure fooled me. I can't sleep. I can't figure it out. Last night I was like, okay, how come? I go on one side, within 2 minutes it hurts. My shoulder hurts, my bicep hurts, my pythons hurt.
Pythons.
And then I switch sides. I'm like, this hurts. My back. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I feel like I should sleep.
I talked about this before on the show about me.
What if I slept in the tub? In the bathtub with water?
That sounds really comfy.
With water, though. And you set an alarm every 45 minutes to add some hot. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Anyway, so you got vaccinated and you're all good. And you couldn't sleep on your shoulder?
I was aware of it. Like I could feel it. It's sore. It is sore. So what do you normally...
I don't know. I don't have a normal side to sleep on.
What did you have before? Like what did you used to do all the time?
I can't remember. I forgot how to sleep. I don't know. I felt like my back, but now I can't sleep on my back. Anyway, I don't know what's going on with me. But yesterday we did because you said vaccination, it reminded me, we did I had to do a self-tape in French Oh, I have another one to do. I can't forget. And how...
Do I have to read?
No, I think it's a voiceover, which... Yeah, it's a voiceover, so I just do my lines. But how did you feel reading in French? Be honest.
Why?
Because I know you're like... How you really feel deep down, but you're trying to be supportive, so you're like...
Well, it wasn't great, but that's okay. I knew it wouldn't be great. It's not like I'm an expert in French. But I got through it.
Yeah, you did.
And I got better as I went along. Didn't I?
You did.
Except I said mysterious wrong. I kept pronouncing instead of mysterious, right? That's right. Mysterious.
Yeah.
I kept saying, go.
Mysterious. every take.
Subtle.
Mysterious, but it doesn't matter because you're just the reader.
Just the reader. Okay.
Just the reader.
I'll remember that. I thought it was really important.
Do you have a quick daily dose to do before we bring on?
Sure do. Let's do a quickie.
Okay. Oh, shoot. You know what? It's so much faster now because I don't have an external hard drive. So it's like... Because remember, sometimes I used to press play, would take a few seconds.
No, but I believe you.
Daily dose, get the news from coast to coast. Daily dose, all your news from coast to coast.
All the news and headlines from Jen Grant.
Here's your Daily Dose for Tuesday, May 11th. They are saying that the stay-at-home order in Ontario will likely be extended to June 2nd. Is there technically a stay-at-home order in Quebec as well? Yes, eh?
I mean, we have the curfew. Yeah, you're not supposed to go anywhere. I mean...
Not technically, but...
Yeah.
I had a feeling that would happen. They are probably going to extend it to June 2nd because of the May long weekend and everything else. And it would...
Do you know Ontario has the longest lockdown in the world?
No.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I had a feeling that would happen though, and it's probably a good idea. Might as well just keep her shut down. So it's less than a month away until June 2nd. So like 3 more weeks. I think we can handle it after the shit year we've had, right? Anyway, this is
tell that to the small business owners.
I know, and I am not being insensitive. I feel for you, but it's like we've already been. I know, but you're right. I don't know what to say, but you're right.
People are pissed.
Of course, I get that, but I do think that they're going to make amendments. I think I read something in the news where they'll offer rapid tests for certain small businesses so that if you want to enter, you have to do the test. If you're negative, you can come in.
I don't understand why rapid testing isn't more of a thing. Like,
yeah, I know.
You go to Ottawa, you can pay $200. You get a rapid COVID test. You get the results within like 15 minutes or something. And a lot of, if you work on a set or something,
or if you're
but
trying
if
to
you go to
enter
New Brunswick, you have to
know.
isolate for 2 weeks. It's like, I would pay anything to test right away.
I know. Yeah, so we, speaking of which, I also read a story that I was going to say later in the Daily Dose, but it's relevant right now because you just brought up New Brunswick. I was just reading that they have like a healthcare issue in New Brunswick. Did you know that?
What do you mean?
Well, there's a man who was living in Alberta. He had disability from his work, so he wanted to move somewhere that he's always loved New Brunswick. He visited it 10 years ago. Decided, you know what, I'm gonna move there when I'm retired because it's such a beautiful place, lots of nice people. He ended up getting disabled from his work, so he retired early on disability. He could live anywhere in Canada, but he had to have a healthcare provider or a doctor, someone to have in that wherever he was moving. Well, he was just assumed everything would be fine, moved to New Brunswick, bought a house, and now he can't get a doctor.
Oh no.
He can't. Apparently, I didn't know this about New Brunswick, but apparently there is a waiting list for a doctor. Let me tell you the number exactly. As of December 2020, that just passed, 44,226 people are on the wait list to get a doctor in New Brunswick.
Ooh.
I know. Crazy, eh? So anyway, he's like, careful if you're just deciding to move, assuming everything is
And
fine.
a lot of people are moving to New Brunswick.
Yeah.
A lot of people from Ontario.
Yeah. So I think you have a better chance getting a doctor if you know someone, or, you know, like you used to have a doctor there.
Yeah.
So you could contact that doctor.
Yeah, like if and when we build a place there and move there, we wouldn't have any problems.
Yeah.
We could also just hound Jules.
That's true. Good old Jules. So this is a crazy story. So in Ottawa on Mother's Day, so on Sunday, a 32-year-old woman met this woman in a Facebook group for new mothers. This woman, 32-year-old woman from Quebec, met this woman in Ottawa in a Facebook group for new mothers under the guise of being a new mother. She wasn't a new mother.
Which of the two mothers? There's two mothers.
This 32-year-old mother. No, she's not a mother. This 32-year-old woman, okay? One's a woman, one's a mother.
Okay.
Well, they're both women. But you know what I mean? Just for the purpose of the story.
Okay, the Ottawa one or the Quebec one is a mother?
This happened in Ottawa, but this one woman is from Quebec.
Whoa.
The 32... Okay, just listen.
Start over.
Oh, jeez.
Well, if I'm lost, other people are lost.
I don't know about that. There's a 32-year-old woman. Let's call her Mary.
Okay.
Okay? She befriended this woman named Catherine.
Mary and Kathy.
Mary Catherine was a new mother. Oh, stop with
No,
the eyes.
go.
This is you. You can't even understand it. Anyways.
Which one is not the mother?
Are you kidding?
Kathy
still?
or Mary? Yes.
Mary.
You didn't say.
Can you just let me
Okay.
tell the story?
Go ahead.
So Mary befriended this woman, Catherine, who just had the baby. Catherine had just had a baby like 8 days before. This woman, Mary, says, I want to come and bring you a package, to like a gift basket to say Happy Mother's Day because you're a brand new mother.
And she's pretending to be a mother.
She's
so
pretending
she
to be a new mother.
Got it.
Drives to this woman's house, gives her the gift basket, maces her, bear mace, in the face.
What?
Steals her baby.
What?
And runs away.
Oh, I think I saw this on the news.
Yeah. And neighbors, I guess, tackled her down and saved the baby, and the baby's fine.
Oh, I saw her picture, blonde lady.
Yeah. Crazy, eh?
Yeah.
On Mother's Day.
What's the
Day.
point of that? What are you trying to do?
I know. Like how that's a clearly very insane person. Like what's going to happen from this?
Yeah.
Ugh, so stupid. So I'm surprised he didn't bring this up, but NBC canceled 2022 Golden Globes.
I saw that, and I saw that Tom Cruise is giving back his 3 Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ironic that Tom Cruise is making a statement against corruption when he's a Scientologist. But anyway.
What do Scientologists, are they racist?
Not racist, but incredible corruption. But go ahead.
Yeah. And then I guess it's the Hollywood Foreign Press Association that everybody's upset about. Even before the cancellation announcement, Scarlett Johansson and Mark Ruffalo and other stars were already urging members of the entertainment industry to distance themselves from the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. So I guess there's been a negative outcry from many. So this is progress, though. This is how things.
So they canceled the Golden Globes?
Yeah, for 2022.
So under what? They need more what?
They need more inclusivity. There's not one member on the Hollywood Foreign Press who is of color. So anyway, that's good. I mean, that's how shit happens, right? That's how things change.
Yeah.
And that's your Daily Dose for today. Let's talk to Matt Pennell.
Daily Dose, get the news from coast to coast. Daily Dose, all your news from coast to
All
coast.
the news and headlines from Jen Grant.
Okay.
I need to pee.
Seriously?
Yeah, but I'm gonna hold it.
No, go.
I'm gonna hold it.
Go. I'll go and I'll go. Go.
Why
go,
don't you
quick.
talk about Matt's bio for
I will.
30 seconds? Do you have it email open?
I sure do. Go ahead. Okay.
I hate that. Sorry, I hate to do this.
We need like a code word for it.
Pesh.
So I'm quite excited for our guest today. As I said before, he is a Chopped Canada champion, which is very exciting. And I really, really love Chopped. It's one of my favorite shows. I absolutely love it. I watch every single episode. I watch Chopped Canada. So I'm really pumped, and I love cooking. And I'm sure you guys can relate to how exciting this guest is. So he seems like a very, very nice person. He has a lot of impressive credits to his career. He makes his home right now in Moncton. He's currently the executive chef and food and beverage manager at Legends Catering at the Moncton Coliseum. Trade and Convention Center. He's done so much. He is originally from Newfoundland. We'll talk to him all about the details of everything, but he's done so much. He has been everywhere from San Francisco to Nova Scotia, has been on television a bunch. He has done many culinary competitions, and he was also named among the top 20 under 40 in the Greater Moncton Chamber by the Greater Moncton Chamber of Commerce. And he is an entrepreneur. He has done so much with his career. And Julien is going to call him right now so we can connect with him and chat with him and ask him about everything he's accomplished.
Let's do it. Let's get him on the phone. It's ringing. Here we are. I believe we are live now with Chef Matt Pennell.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, man.
Hi, Matt. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing great. I'm just been sitting here watching you guys on YouTube. I feel like I'm sitting in the living room with you, but after about 5 minutes, I've just been staring at this cat in the middle of both of you.
Isn't he so cute?
Yeah,
He's so chill. He's so chill.
That's a nugget.
Nugget.
Yeah,
I love it.
Nugget meat. Oh, when you said nugget, I could kind of hear the Newfoundland accent a little bit there.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, it comes out every now and then.
Yeah. How long have you been in Moncton?
I've been in Moncton for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or 11 years. Oh, my God. So I moved here from Nova Scotia, but I moved away from Newfoundland about 21 years ago.
Okay, nice.
Do you miss it?
I do. I don't miss the weather. I'm from the Avalon Peninsula, so like a little town called Holyrood, which is close to St. John's. So the summer is like August, 2 weeks in August. I mean, I might be exaggerating, but I don't really miss the weather, but I miss the people. I miss the culture. Yeah,
it's very special there. Eh? It's very, very unique, very special.
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible. Anybody we bring, we usually, outside of horrible, stupid COVID, we usually go down once a year for like 2 to 3 weeks, and we have friends that usually join us for a week of that, and they never want to leave. It's just incredible.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, the people. There's nobody like just the warmth, and they really do treat you like an old friend when you just meet. We would go up for gigs all the time, and when we would start, we started asking people about local cuisine, and Toutons came up. Am I saying that right? Toutons? Is that it?
Yeah, have a Towton or do a Towton.
Yeah, exactly. Which is just fried dough, essentially, right?
Yeah, it's like a better
biscuit
version of a beaver tail, essentially.
Yeah, almost like a tea biscuit, almost.
Yeah, you know what? Julien, that is a really good. It's like a cross between a beaver tail and a tea biscuit.
There it is.
Yum! I want a Towton right now.
Yeah.
It's a beaver biscuit.
Beaver
And
biscuit.
how does it get served? The Towton, is it usually with like cinnamon and sugar, same kind of thing as a beaver tail?
No, it's fresh butter and molasses.
Ah, interesting.
So, being a Newfoundlander and a nice guy and warm as your people are, how? Because both Jen and I have worked in restaurants for many, many years in front of house, and there are many different kinds of chefs. A lot of them are angry, scream under pressure. Because there's to me being a chef is one of the hardest jobs. I mean, to have a restaurant full of people, to have all these chits lined up, and it's all on you to pump out these meals, not only in a timely fashion, but also a good food that people will come back, and consistent food. So it's, you have to, I don't know, there's an element of compartmentalization that happens with chefs that's like beyond anything I can comprehend. What kind of chef are you in the kitchen when you're in the thick of it, in the weeds? Are you a screamer?
I'm like, the crazier it gets, the calmer I get. Like you said, the departmentalized. I think you have to be a filing cabinet essentially, and we don't forget things. Don't get me wrong. When we're in the thick of it and things are said, it is addressed after service.
Yeah.
But you just have to like decide, what's worth it and what's not, and whatever is best for the success of the service and the success of the team. I'm definitely not a screamer. I don't scream at people. I talk to people. There might have been a point in my very young career where, before I was, when I was like a line cook, where I thought I knew everything and you couldn't tell me anything, and I might have yelled back then, but once I got a little older and matured, I think that comes with any profession. Sorry, I'm just envisioning somebody working in the office and like yelling at people.
Yeah.
Come on, get this report out. No. So yeah, I'm definitely not a screamer. I'm definitely a talker. It's whatever is the best for the team and the success of the service and the quality of the food.
Yeah, there's so many times as a server I've walked into a kitchen with just a pit in my stomach, like knowing this is not going to go well. Or Jen, you had that story of...
Oh man, when I was 18, my first serving job, there was this very angry chef, and I was really afraid. I was still a kid, 18. I was so afraid to tell them that they didn't like their eggs Benedict, and they said that it was cold or something like that, and I had to bring it up to them. And there's that space between the heater there, whatever you call it, that
the heat lamp, yeah,
the heat
pass.
lamp, and like the pass, yeah. So I'm bringing it, but I'm like shaking, like I'm so scared because this guy had such a hot temper. And like I said, I'm a kid, I'm timid, I'm nervous to even just be in the world. Like, so I handed it to him and I said, sorry, excuse me, this eggs Benedict, the customer thinks it's cold. And he goes, what? And like he freaks out at me. He took his knife and actually
like it's your fault,
like
right?
It's my fault. And picture he's like a grown man and I'm this child, and he's got this knife between the pass, and he's like, you tell your customer that's a good eggs Benedict. I'm doing a terrible accent.
Was he French or was he Grover? I can't tell.
Yeah. What was that accent?
Neither, which is really strange. I think he was from Cambodia. I don't know. And it was a terrible accent. See, obviously, like nothing further than from French. Anyway, so he flipped out, and I've always been scared to approach. Yeah, I mean, it's a stressful job, and if you don't have the right personality for it and to be able to handle the pressure. So that's a good point, Jules, that like to be a really good chef and to do well at competitions and stuff, that's so much more than just being a good cook, right? Like there's so many other skills you need.
Yeah.
It
is. And like, so, Adam Lund, who I work with, he's the chef of the kitchen nowadays. He oversees the day-to-days and creates all of the menus. We have this conversation all the time about how much the industry has changed because, he's been in the industry for 25 plus years. I've been in 21 plus years. And what the industry is now compared to what it was, even 10 years ago. Like, people just aren't putting up with the bullshit anymore. You're getting harassed at work, someone yelling at you for dropping a egg. Like,
yeah,
like the old boy, ways of the kitchens are gone, and kitchens are so diverse now, and you can't have that in the kitchen. It's not right.
And it's
Anyways, that's my serious moment for the day.
But it's like you said, sometimes things are said and you can address it afterwards. And there is this sense of, there is no feeling like getting through a crazy rush at a restaurant, both for front of house and back of house. You kind of get through it together. And after you have a dart by the dumpster out back, and it's like, oh, we got through it. And there's like this camaraderie. And then you can kind of make up after, so in the heat of the moment. It's so much pressure. Yeah. I always say people should be forced in life to work in a restaurant for 3 months and travel, but working in a restaurant, just so you know how things work, because people have no clue when they come in and they're just so rude.
Oh my God. Oh, and they just...
they ask for mods. How do you feel about mods when people...
I'm totally okay with mods as long as it's, as long as it's reasonable. If they want like a salad and they don't want the, tomato or whatever, or they want, they don't want the dressing that we made. They want to have a balsamic or something. Sure, it's okay.
Yeah,
that's fine. And it just depends on the setting as well. I'm a big believer in a dish, is made the way it's supposed to be eaten. Right. So,
yeah,
I mean, there's restaurants out there that are, it's just food, and it's tasty, it's salty, and whatever. You know what I mean? There's those hole in the walls diners, whatever. Mm-hmm. But, a dish is made the way it's supposed to be eaten, and it shouldn't be modded. But if somebody, somebody wants it modded, that's fine. One of my biggest pet peeves is people just grabbing the salt shaker and just dousing their plate in salt. Before they even taste it. It's like, but Jen, I think you and I were just briefly chatting about this the other day on the phone. Is the allergy not allergy? Like, just kidding, I'm not actually allergic.
Yeah.
It's the and the whole gluten now. It's like, I'm not allergic to gluten. I don't eat very much gluten because it makes me feel horrible. Just like kind of bloated. I just, as we get older, we're not digesting like we used to. Let's face it. So, but when somebody comes into the restaurant, they go, "Oh, well, I can't have this. Can you change this and this because I have a gluten allergy?" Okay. So you do 3 courses later, and you get to dessert, and they go, "Oh, I'll have the cake." And it's like, well, it has gluten. Well, it's okay. It's okay if it's in dessert. It's fine. It's like, yeah, you have to be kidding me. Like, stuff like that. Just, or like, I'm allergic to onions. Like, are you allergic, or do you just not like them?
Yeah.
Well, I just don't like them. Well, because if you're allergic to onions, you can't have anything. Like,
yeah, it's a whole other thing. I mean, there's cross-contamination. If it's an actual allergy, it's that's why I say people should forced to work. You graduate high school, and then you're a busboy for 3 months, and then you can move on to other things. But just to understand the inner workings of a restaurant, and that it's people at the end of the day, like working in there. It's just crazy the entitlement people walk in with. Sometimes they treat the front of house staff a certain way, and then they just disrespect the back of house with these crazy mods. That people will just make up their own dishes sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's insane. And then especially, and that throws a wrench in the cogs when you're super busy. So the server has to communicate all these things, and then the kitchen has to like stop what they're doing and really, and if it's an allergy, 100% yes, like tell us please, like, yeah, we have to make sure we get this right, and we want to get it right, and we want to make sure you're happy, we want to make sure you have a great meal. But silly mods are just they're just fat. They're just fat. They're just silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I remember I worked with this chef who I asked. We worked at he had designed the menu. It was all fresh pasta, authentic. He took a lot of pride in it. Just the stuff like the kind of things you're talking about. It was downtown, so it attracted a lot of. He thought that it attracted a lot of people that wanted spaghetti and meatballs, not like the really creative, authentic thing that he created. And many people asked, "Can I have the seafood linguine without the mussels?" And when we first opened the restaurant, he said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And I was like, "Oh."
What?
So I should just tell them no mussels? And he's like, "No, it's not going to taste good without the mussels. It won't taste good." So I'd have to like go up to people and say, you can't have that without the mussels. And he's like, "It'll change the entire flavor of the whole dish." And anyway, eventually he had to accommodate because the owner was like, "I still want the business. Like if people will leave because you won't change them, it's that delicate balance, right?"
Yeah, and I've seen that argument a lot. I've seen that battle. I've been in that battle with the owner versus the chef.
Yeah.
It can get quite heated. But
for sure.
I was never one to deny a mod. Unless it's like, instead of the French fries, I want a lobster tail. But
who doesn't?
But I mean, it's. We used to save the crazy ones, and then have a little vote at the end of the week of who had the craziest mod.
Yeah,
it
keeps it light, anyways.
Yeah,
it's quite the profession that you do. It's again, I can't even fathom the pressure. How did you go from chef to then food competitions? Is that something, because you've done so many competitions on your bio, Jen was reading off just a few minutes ago. Was that a conscious thing that you wanted to get into?
Yeah, it's something that I regret I didn't do more of in my younger career. I was just too busy, as you put it out earlier, having darts by the dumpster after work and going out for beers. But as I got older, I just kind of reverted back to it. And I'm a really competitive person by nature. Maybe competitive is not the word. Like I need a challenge. I always need a challenge. I always need that next thing to challenge me, so I can, it's like I can never sit still. I drive my wife nuts. I can't sit down. I'm always moving. I'm always just spouting off ideas and things I should do. And, but anyways, I find competing really helps with my like ADD/OCD. It just kind of, in an odd way, it calms me down. And really I can focus my energy on those big competitions. And the craziest one I've ever done, Chopped, was really cool. Chopped was like 16 hours. That was awesome. It was different because it was like TV. But the one I just did right before COVID, the nationals for Canadian Culinary Championships in Ottawa, was just insane. So we flew in, and then there was this big gala at I think it was City Hall, and we were introduced to the media. It was like 12 chefs, all from across Canada, and then they gave us this mystery bottle of wine, and we had to like open it and smell it, and then we couldn't drink it. Well, we could drink it, sorry, but it was unlabeled. And then they handed us an envelope of like, I think it was like $400, and then we had to go to bed and then wake up the next morning and go out shopping.
Wow.
And buy the ingredients to cook us like a 2-bite course for 400 people out of this $400 to pair with the wine. So we did that.
Wow.
And then.
And was it open to anything, or did you have a theme or anything? You could just pick whatever?
You just did whatever. So we went out shopping, and then we went back to the Algonquin College, and each chef and their sous chef prepped this thing, and then we packed it all up and went to the Aviation Museum. And then we served it in a place where there was absolutely no kitchen. You just had like Bunsen burners and whatever. So we did that, and then that was over like 10 o'clock at night. When we got back to the hotel, I was in bed by 12, had to get up at 6 and go do compete in the black box competition at the college. And then once we did that, we had to pack up our food and go to the Shaw Center to compete in the final leg, which was the grand finale.
Wow.
Which we had to serve our signature dish to like 650 people.
Come on.
Yeah, it was just bananas.
What is your signature dish?
Can you tell us what you did for each one of them?
Yeah. So we did myself and Adam, who I mentioned earlier. He was my sous chef for the competition. Who was listening? So shout out to Adam. We did for the first course. So the wine ended up being a local Pinot Noir. We did this. And keep in mind, we had $400 to like do like all these people. So it was like, we did crispy crepes with braised. Oh my God, my mind is escaping me. Braised something, a braised meat, braised pork belly.
Okay.
That sounds amazing.
That does sound good.
And then a piece of crispy pork belly. And then we did a chicken liver brandy mousse with fresh peas and mushrooms. And there was a sauce on there. Sorry, my mind is like, it was like crazy. And then we served that. And then, so for the black box, the ingredients they weren't as like outlandish as the ingredients that Chopped can get sometimes. By the way, Jen, did you see that video I sent you?
No, I never got it.
The Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, that one. Yes, that was great.
Chopped.
Yeah.
There's stuff in there I won't say on your podcast, but it was funny.
It was really funny. Really funny.
Yeah, but this black box for the nationals. So it was like kelp powder, parsley root, elk, Saskatoon berries or Haskap berries, and then a few other ingredients. And then, so you had to create a dish around that. So we did this celery root parsley root puree. So parsley root, it looks like a parsnip. So it's white, taste of parsley. And then we made it green by blanching the greens of the parsley root and then blending it in lots of butter, lots of citrus. And then we did Saskatoon berry jus. We did, what else did we do? Oh my God.
Oh, so many details to remember, eh?
It's insane.
Yeah.
I'm intermittent fasting, and this is killing me right now.
And then the signature dish was sous vide lamb loin with our herb crust, air-dried tuna, smoked preserved mushrooms, lamb jus with a custard of sea buckthorn berries. I don't know if you're familiar with those. But they grow like coastal. They're like a coastal berry. They're like it's the sourest thing you could put in your mouth. They're really interesting. Anyway, so at the end of it, we didn't place. We didn't have placed on the national podium. I think we heard like out of 12. I think we placed 4th or 5th or something. But it's so much fun, and I know it was absolutely exhausting, but it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
And and the camaraderie of all the chefs years ago. And let's go back to this, asshole chef thing. Can I say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
10, 15 years ago, these chefs, they probably wouldn't even hung out or spoke. And they would have been, jerks to each other. But everybody was so friendly. We made so many friends.
That's great.
We keep in contact the next day. Ian Carswell, who was a competing chef in Ottawa, he took us out for lunch and paid for it. Like, just super nice guy. Everybody was so nice. And one of the girls, actually, she's on Top Chef Canada.
Oh, okay.
Right now, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, with comedians, when we do festivals, it's kind of the same thing where you get to hang out with people you normally don't get a chance to hang out with. So it's a real bonding experience.
That's so. And was it always like that? Because I know that your your profession is very stressful as well. I couldn't imagine getting up on a stage.
We should swap.
And someone say, yeah, right. So, hey, go be funny for, half an hour. That frightens the living shit out of me, to be honest.
It did to me. Like the first 8 years of my career, I was terrified the entire time.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Takes a long time to not be.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a TV show we could do, like a swap? Like a comedian.
Oh,
swaps
hell
with a
yes.
chef?
Yes.
In fact, we're going to bleep this out. We're going to edit this out so no one does it before us.
The wheels are turning, Matt. The wheels are turning.
That would be a great show. You swap with a chef. First of all, you just a small manageable thing. Like you serve, I don't know, 30 people in a restaurant or something.
Oh.
And I think that's a show I would watch. How do you think the Food Network has affected your industry? Like as you said, like the asshole chef and the screamers, that's kind of more, the older guys in the industry that's dying off. But guys like Gordon Ramsay come on and glorify that, where some guys might lead into it more after seeing it on TV. How do you think overall the Food Network has affected your industry?
Oh, it's a loaded question, Julian.
Well, I asked that because we get asked a similar question about Netflix. Like, what do you think about all these Netflix comedy specials and how it affects the industry? I think the more the merrier. It helps.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Right.
So it's great that so many more people are into food now. So many more people are open to trying new things because of networks like the Food Network. But there's also the other side of things where you have people going to culinary school for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
And that's to be on TV and to be a superstar and to be a chef. Like for one, when you come out of culinary school, you're not a chef. Like you're a cook, you're a line cook, you know what I mean? And the term chef gets beaten around a lot too, you see it all the time. And like to your point, Gordon Ramsay, I mean, that's pure entertainment. That's the only reason he does that.
Right.
Because if he treated the people in his kitchens the way he treats people on the show, he would be sued so many times. He might have been, I don't know. But
people don't know that when they watch it, right? So they just think that's the reality of it.
Yeah. So I met Gordon Ramsay when I was working in San Francisco. And he is the nicest guy.
Yeah, is that right?
So it's just it's just a persona?
Yeah, oh, totally. I mean, I'm sure back in his younger years, when he was working with Marco Pierre White, and they were like the hottest chefs going, before they were on TV. I'm sure, yeah, those are the old days. I'm sure there was a lot of cursing and that kind of helped him make his TV persona, but there's no way he can treat people like that nowadays. I mean, he runs a huge corporation. Like, yeah,
true.
You know what I mean? It's just impossible. So, to answer your question, it has effects, both negative and positive. I just hope that in schools, in culinary schools across Canada or wherever, that's something that they're hitting home on, is that this isn't the Food Network, this is real life.
It's interesting you say that about how people will get into culinary schools for the wrong reason, because I've said this. I find that now the pinnacle of any career, the top that you can get now, is be on TV. Whereas before it was the pinnacle of a career would be just to be the best at that thing, and that was good enough. But now it's, regardless of the industry, it's to be on TV. Whether you're in real estate, it's not only to be the best realtor, but it's one step further to then be on TV. Ice road trucker, anything, chef. The pinnacle for everything now is to be famous, is to be on TV, because of reality TV. It's kind of opened that up. Do you find?
Sorry,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
And social media too.
Yeah, social media. Everybody's a star. Everybody wants to be
Legend.
Yeah, it's created this whole thing. But I was just going to go back to that Food Network thing. Do you find that people will come into a restaurant and think they know better, or like know better than the chef, or will request things, or I don't know. It kind of because people will watch enough of it and think, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, I've experienced moments like that. I guess it would be the equivalent of a heckler.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That, have you guys ever had a heckler in your audience that was just like a complete asshole?
Oh yeah.
Totally. I mean, I have to admit, 9 times out of 10, they're not being assholes. They think they're helping.
They think they're being funny, right?
Yeah, they think they're being funny, but it has happened. I've early on in my career, I've had a you suck once or twice, which is
they're rarely sober too, FYI.
Yeah, and that's the same as that diner that thinks they know food and are just spitting off things that they, hear on the Food Network or they read in a, cook at home cookbook or whatever, and they're generally intoxicated.
Right, right.
It's kind of a similar situation, and you just kind of, in the service industry, it's so weird. You just, if that happened on the street, you would be in an argument.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
because they come into your workplace and they're paying to be there, they can they can act like that.
Yeah,
apparently.
entitled. Yeah.
You mentioned cookbook. Would you ever do a cookbook?
I would. I've talked about it with my my friend Chef Alex Hahn. He's the chef down in St. Andrews at the Kingsbury Garden. Phenomenal chef. So we've talked about doing a book together. But I am in one book. There is a book that was released a couple years ago called Flavors of New Brunswick, and it's some of the top chefs across New Brunswick, and we all have about 3 or 4 pages in there, and with some recipes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'd love to be able to do one like solo. I've started a couple of times, and that's like that challenge thing I go back to, but it keeps getting put on the shelf.
Jules, I'm dying to talk about Chopped.
Yes. Okay, let's get into Chopped for sure.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with the show. I love it so much. And so where do we start with it? How did you get on the show?
I applied. Let's back it up a bit. So the first year that Top Chef Canada was on the air, I applied, and I made it so far in like the casting, and the very last casting interview, they said, "You're too serious. You're too serious. You're too serious about cooking."
Oh, what? That's
such
a weird
thing.
thing.
What? Like, yeah, there's you need to have this energy. You have to have an energy and positivity and blah blah blah. To be on TV. And
that's the thing people forget. They're making a TV show at the end of the day.
Exactly. So, and at that point in my life, I think I was probably like 24 at that point, a long time ago. It really kind of just stung me in a weird way, where I said, if I can't be serious about what I love to do, then why would I be somebody I'm not and do it on TV?
Yeah.
And after I lightened up after a couple of years, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll give this thing a shot. So I said to my wife at the time, I was like, I think I'm going to apply for Chopped. She's like, yeah, you totally should. So I did. And I was a bit more jovial there this time because, Chopped is it's, you have to have skills. No doubt it is a hard competition, but the ingredients are just bananas.
Right.
Yeah, we should maybe just quickly, for anyone that doesn't know the show Chopped, basically it's 4 chefs competing You have 3 courses, and each course you start with appetizer, then main course, and dessert round. And you get a mystery basket with mystery ingredients, 4 or 5 different outlandish things that are usually not connected in any way or just to throw the chefs off. And then you have to make a course in a ridiculous amount of time, short amount of time, and then you're judged by 3 or 4 celebrity judges. For anyone that hasn't seen it, it's a highly addictive show. It's a great premise for a show because it can go on forever in any market. It's great.
My least favorite is the dessert. But
you and I both.
Yeah, I like the appetizer and entree, and then I'm like, meh. Like, I want to see who wins, but I'm not that into the dessert. I bet you that's a common thing that people say.
Oh my God, I was so like. We'll get there. We'll get there. Jim. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. So, anyways, I got on the show. They interviewed me. They came and did this video of me and my wife. This is like before my daughter. Oh my God, this is like a long time ago. This is like 8 years or 6 years ago. I'll try to remember the best of my ability. And then they're like, yeah, so, you're going to come to Toronto this date, and it's going to be one day. And I was like, one day?
Were you excited when you found out you got on the show?
Was I what?
You must have been pumped, really excited when you found out you got on the show.
I was very excited. Yeah, it was great. I mean, I other than doing like, what's for dinner or whatever on CBC, on the CBC, I've never really been on TV. So, I was on You Gotta Eat Here before that, but anyway, so go to Toronto, fly in, and get to the studio, and they're like, well, if you make it all the way through, it's probably going to be like a 16 to 18 hour day filming. And I was like,
whoa,
what?
That's crazy.
It's a shift, right? That's a shift at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Solid shift.
16 hours.
Yeah, it was intense, but they treated us great. Dean McDermott was the host at the time. He was an interesting character.
In what way?
So,
in what way was he interesting?
It's just.
You're like, how do I say this?
How do I say this without offending him? No, I'm not going to offend him. He was just. It's so funny to see the switch. Of people of their personalities between, the camera being on and the camera being off. And he would go from like super bright and out there, and then the camera off, it was like his shoulders kind of dropped. And it was like just getting ready, maybe just mentally getting ready for the next take.
Right.
But it was super hard. It was super odd to be cooking with like literally like 3 cameras on you, like 3 camera people like in your face, and like 4 microphones hovering above you, and like everywhere you went, they were really good at not getting run over, but they would follow you everywhere. And
you're probably you're rushing around too, so.
Oh my God! And I'm like a bull in a china shop. Like, get out of my way! Like, I'm the worst and clumsy, very clumsy.
Okay, so let's picture you get there. It's the beginning of the shoot. You're about to open that box. Now, I know I've worked in TV before, so I know it takes a long time to get to even that point. But you're standing there. There's the 4 of you there. What are you thinking? Is your heart beating out of your chest?
I'm thinking there was a pastry chef, Tony, whom I know, oddly enough, was on the show. And I was like, I like you, Tony, but you got to go. You cannot make it to the dessert round because his pastries are amazing. I was. And also I very nervous to see what was in the basket because I've watched the show. It's like gummy bears and
seaweed,
just ridiculous things. Seaweed, I would be happy with. That's fine. But it's just like it's the confectionery stuff that they throw into the savory courses that really would that throw me off. And they did, of course they did. But the first course was canned ham, apricot jam, kohlrabi, and something else that I can't remember.
I would make a canned ham apricot soup. Every course would just be a soup.
Be a soup you can just put in a blender.
Yeah, pureed soup, all of it.
Yeah,
there you go.
So the my first impressions were, I'm from Newfoundland. We grew up on that bologna and canned ham stuff. So I was thinking Hawaiian. So because in Hawaii, Spam is king.
Right.
They put Spam is a famous Hawaiian delicacy, and they treat it so many different ways. But one of the ways they do it is they kind of bread it and pan fry it so it's crispy on the outside. So I did that with some kohlrabi puree and some white wine. White wine was the other one, because what goes better with Spam than white wine? So we did I did braised kohlrabi leaves in white wine, and I did an apricot sauce with the jelly, and I kind of glazed the meat as well. And the whole time I'm thinking about it, I'm going, this is going to be horrible. No matter how good I cook this, no matter how good I prepare this, and then we get to the judging, and they're like, oh, I love the way that the texture and the flavor really came out in your kohlrabi. I'm like, there has to be a certain level of BS from these judges to make it interesting, right?
Right.
But, it's still food.
Yeah.
And then the second course.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you bring it to the judges, by the time they actually film them tasting it, is it cold at that point?
It takes forever, Julian. I was like, and that's what really bugged me as well. I was like, they're not eating it. What's happening?
Right.
What's going on? Unless they eat, because you have to make an extra plate. I know that one's for beauty shots, but maybe
I always wondered why there was 4. Yeah, because there's 3 judges.
Yeah, they take a beauty shot of it, right, for their content. A beauty shot of canned ham. So then we get ushered back into this room, and that's where they usually do we're all sitting around. It's like, I don't know, how did you do? I don't know how I did. I think you won. No, I think you won. Everybody's being so nice.
Do they guide you in any way into what to say when the cameras are on? Because if you've never been on TV and you're just kind of sitting there and not talking, do they say just kind of encourage each other or?
Yeah, there is some prep stuff. I feel like the first guy that was voted off, he was like an old pro or something. He was just he watched the show forever. He knew exactly what to say. He kind of led us, and then when he got voted off, we were kind of lost, to be honest. So then they were prompting us and probing us to have a conversation, and then so we're in there for probably half an hour. And then we go out, and then they're tasting our food. So I'm like...
So it's definitely a cold at this point, obviously.
Yeah, for sure it is.
But they just go for the flavors and the taste and the textures.
Yeah, they're all culinarians and chefs, so they get it.
Right.
And Suser Lee is just sitting up there with his dark eyes, just peering into my soul. Just that man scares me.
He is intimidating.
He is an amazing chef, but he is very intimidating.
I worked at a Mexican restaurant in Toronto, and he would come all the time, and serving him wasn't a whole thing. He would come with his family and his sons, and every time was just a nervous wreck.
Did he always like the food, or?
Yeah, he always liked the food. Great tipper. It was genuinely just a nice guy, but just so intimidating. There's just something about that man, and you just want to please him.
For TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just got that chin up, stern look, and then Michael is just this giant who could step on you.
Yeah.
Who is a gentle giant, by the way. Through that show, we became really good friends, and after the show he invited me to go over every year to help him out with Village Feast, which is in PEI, and they raise money for cook camps in Kenya. So we do this big feast for I think it's 1,200 people in a field: steak, lobster, oysters, salad, chowder.
That's so nice.
And it's a strawberry shortcake, and then we do a a dish from Kenya called githeri, and so we go over every year. So it's their personas on TV are definitely not who they are in person.
I loved his show, Chef at Home. Was that it?
Oh, it was awesome.
That was great.
Yeah.
So
do you
comforting.
remember his son Gabe on that show? Remember his son would like run into the kitchen.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yep.
The little boy, he's like
yes.
taller than Michael now. He's like a monster.
Wow.
Yeah. So the whole Chopped experience, then you get to the second round and you have to stand there and they say, okay, we're going to tell you to open your baskets, but don't open your baskets. And we go, okay. And then you do that like 5 times.
Just to get different, what are they, just getting different shots?
So it is, for Chopped. So it is legit. Like you don't know the ingredients. Just for everybody out there, we do not know the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
We're not prepped beforehand. It is a true black box competition. It's a mystery box. Like we do not know. We got to run. We had a quick tour of the pantry beforehand, and so it is a true mystery.
So
basket.
Did you ever think at any of the stages of the appetizer, entree, or dessert that you thought, I'm not going to finish? Or did you ever get to a panic point where you're like, okay, I need to really buckle down here and...
Yeah, because it's a crazy amount of time. Like, what is it, like 20 minutes for the appetizer round or something?
20 minutes for the appetizer, 30 for the main, and 35 for dessert, if I recall correctly.
That's why it seems crazy that it's a 16-hour shoot day when those, the rounds are so short.
So true.
Yeah, and I was on the first season of Chopped Canada.
Right.
So, maybe they improved things, not improved, but maybe they, got it down faster.
Yeah.
Since then, but yeah, it was a super long day. And then to answer your question, Jen, the dessert round, I'm a lot of things. I do a lot of things great. I am not a pastry chef. I'm just not.
Yeah.
and then the throw in, like, I think my basket for dessert was beets, pound cake, gummy bears, and some sort of herb, if I recall, sage.
I would make a beets, pound cake, gummy bear soup.
Soup, yeah, that sounds a lot.
A dessert soup.
That sounds a lot better than what I made.
What was the main course?
Oh, the main course was, which was amazing. I thought the main course was like really good. They gave us a whole like slab of artisan bacon, like a big chunk of smoked pork belly.
That sounds insane.
Root beer. Oh my God, what else was there? What else was in there? Root beer, pork. Oh my God, sorry guys. It's been
It's okay.
a million years. Anyway, so I made this. What did I do? Oh, and I did. Yeah, sorry. So, pompadom. You know what a pompadom is?
Yep. Is it like a crispy Indian sort of crispy bread? You know that thing I made in the frying pan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, like I deep fry them, and they puff right up.
Right.
So I impressed Suser with this because I fried it and like tossed it in some spices, and I did this like root beer glazed rendered pork with this creamy polenta, and the way it looked, he said, oh, the way this looks, it looks like a sailboat of flavor, and it's carrying me away.
Oh my gosh. That's great.
It's doing wonders to my intermittent fasting right now. I'm dying to eat a slab of pork belly.
Oh my God, it's like my favorite. I had to get my gallbladder removed because I ate way too much pork belly.
No way.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I don't eat much pork anymore, but I love it.
Yeah, it's flavorful. So, so you thought you wouldn't finish the dessert. Like, did anything go wrong? Were you afraid of cutting your finger? All the stuff that, because a lot of times when we're rushing, whether we're chefs or not, and you're feeling panicked, you end up screwing up because you're rushing so much. So I guess that whole thing that with you that calms you down in the thick of things is probably a great attribute to have to win Chopped, right? Is that ability to be zen in the chaos.
yeah, it seems like the more chaotic it is, the more I can just kind of hone in. I work better under pressure. I work better with deadlines. It's probably just, from years of just being such a procrastinator that I had to do things at the last minute.
Right.
And that just kind of helped me in the long run, I guess. But yeah, that's the way I work. That's the way my mind works. It did cross my mind the night before when I didn't sleep. Is laying in bed thinking, oh my God, what if I get in there and like chop my thumb off or something? Or what if I burn myself so bad that I have to leave? Because it happens, right?
Yeah.
You can be an amazing chef. You can just, it's an accident. That's all it is. And I was just hopeful that didn't happen. But yeah, the point when I was really doubting myself was I thought I had it in the bag. Like, eventually it turns out I did. But when we got to the dessert round and when I started kind of getting all my ingredients ready for plating, I was like, this is the biggest disaster that has ever happened on a plate in the world. I did this like beet, because of course they put beets in there. And they give us pound cake. So I did this like beet shortcake with a semi-Fredo. And for those of you who don't know what a semi-Fredo is, it's like a semi-frozen dessert, usually like in a puck kind of shaped tower. And I put it in the blast chiller. And then the other Subra, the guy who was competing against me at the end, he went over to the blast chiller to put something in. And when he left, he didn't close it. So my semi-Fredo was like...
Oh, shit.
The opposite of semi-Fredo.
Right.
Oh, no.
So then I had to like totally change, not blaming on him. It probably didn't taste good anyways. And it just looked like a toddler did it. And I was so fortunate that I did, so much better on the other two courses, because Subra's dessert was far better. He made this cookie from scratch and did this like pillowy cloud of sabayon, and it just looked amazing. And Susur said it was the best cookie he's ever eaten. And I was like, oh, it's over now.
So probably you did better in the appetizer and on. You know how that can happen too. Like
that's what they said in the end. Yeah. They said that my dishes were better in the first and second round. But I like the ones. I like the chopped episodes where they do the home cook ones. Did you ever see that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Those are like my favorite.
Like amateur cooks, kind of?
Yeah. Because
I would love to go on. I would love it.
You should. Do you cook, Jen?
Yeah, I love
she's
cooking.
a great cook.
Who's the better cook out of both of you?
Jen.
Well, I don't know, but you're really good though, Jules. You just never do it.
You're better. It's if we were to have a chop off here, you would win.
Julian said that my cooking has gotten better during the pandemic, Jules?
Oh yeah, the things you're pulling off are very impressive on a daily basis. I mean, yeah. Also, I'll always say Jen's the better cook too, because then it encourages her to do it more, and then I can just roll in.
You just took away the compliment.
Yeah, no, you are the better cook for sure.
So what would be, and I hate this question.
Signature dish?
I hate when somebody asks me what's my favorite thing to cook. It's like food, but
as I scratch that off my list of questions.
So what would be like your go-to, Jade, at home? What would be your...
There's a few go-tos, but one that I'm really enjoying doing recently is it's such a simple thing but so delicious, is like homemade fries in our ActiFry with like a hot chicken sandwich.
Yum.
And it's just really classic comfort food. But I think the reason I'm excited about it was because I always thought, well, how am I ever going to make my own gravy? Because I don't like buying the gravy packets because there's so much crap in those.
Yes, there is.
So I was like, how do I make my own gravy? Like, could I just get good at whipping up my own gravy? And I figured it out, Jules?
Yeah, that's a good one. You make really good meatballs. With tacos, we do some tacos at home with we make the tortillas by hand with just like the corn masa and water. I mean, it's
that's awesome.
Masa harina. We have a
masa harina. Yeah, you have the press.
Yeah, we got the press.
Yeah,
I'm super impressed.
And we were using a rolling pin. I was using a rolling pin before, but then we got the press, and that helps. But they're very simple. Like, I love simple food with really good ingredients. Learned that a long time ago when I used to go to my friend's place who's Italian, and her mom used to make the sauce on the Sunday, and I used to say to her, how do you make the sauce? And she's like, I don't know, I just throw this and I throw that. And I'm like, yeah, but what do you do exactly? And she's like, well, I don't know, I just, and she would never tell me exactly what she did, but I finally watched her do it one Sunday, and it was ridiculously simple. How like the ingredients were just so simple, and I love that kind of food.
That is my motto, 100%. For not necessarily for competitions, but every day.
Yeah.
For at home, for 90% of our clients, it's just simple ingredients done well.
Right. And flavor is the most important thing, right? So even if you're getting really fancy and elaborate, and obviously the competitions wouldn't work unless you're doing that, right? Something special and different. But flavor is the most important thing, right?
100%. Yeah. And a lot of, young cooks miss that. They see all these beautiful plates. And, when you go on Instagram, it's food porn, all these plates of food. But, it takes a long time to make those plates of food look perfect. And all that food is, it's modeled and it's made to be beautiful. Mm-hmm. And a lot of young cooks, they, in the first part of their career, they kind of overstep it's a stepping stone, right? They miss that step of flavor and they go right to presentation. And if you can't make something taste good, then it's not worth putting on a plate.
Right. Does it frustrate you at all when you serve food and then you see everyone take their phones out and take pictures? Are you like, just eat it, or are you like, well, yeah, take a picture, share my food?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Yeah, if it makes them happy, it's part of the experience.
Yeah.
Then that's totally cool. I know a lot of like. Is it still as bad, do you think? Because I'm kind of out of the restaurant scene. Like, I'm not, I go eat in a restaurant,
right,
obviously, but like my business now isn't really restaurant related. So, is it as bad as it used to be?
Worse.
I remember when I owned a restaurant, 90% of the dining room would have their phones out taking pictures of the food.
Now it would be 100. I swear to God, it's everybody's taking pictures of their food. Yeah, it's just it's like part of the dining experience. It's kind of along the lines of what we were talking about, how the pinnacle of each career is being on TV. Well, that's the same for just life. Because everyone's got their own social media, so you're kind of like a star in your own world, or trying to be. Mm-hmm. So that's all part of it. It's like, ooh, it's all
about getting more followers and
image crafting,
having the best content,
and just having the best life on social media. It's
such a fake world.
It very much is an incredibly fake world. You say now you're more into you're not into the like in a kitchen in a restaurant, but you're doing catering more?
Yeah, well, what we do at Legends, so we're more of like a trade and convention center. So
right,
we do a lot of like big trade shows, like and we also do weddings. We do wine dinners. We host the World Wine Food Expo. We have this saying, one day it's hot dogs, the next day it's foie gras. We just don't. It's so customized. It's so diverse. Everything that we do is, we do anything from turkey dinners to a 8-course high-end wine dinner, or a beer dinner, or a gala, or it just depends on what the client is looking for.
Yeah.
So we can customize And we do have catering menus and packages and corporate packages and wedding packages, but to be honest, 75 to 80% of the time, it's a customized menu that we sit and work with the clients and to make their experience the best that it can be.
And do you like that better? I imagine it changes all the time. Do you like it better than working in a restaurant on a set menu all the time?
Yeah, it keeps your juices flowing. It keeps it interesting, and you're always dealing with a different project. So when there's every year there's a slew of new projects that come along. So it really keeps it interesting. I mean, I've been there for 8 years now. It's the longest I've ever stayed at one job and not gotten bored. So it speaks volumes.
Hey, Joel. Sorry for interrupting.
No, I'm done.
Go ahead.
Can I ask some questions from our
absolutely
our viewers?
Yeah,
is that all right, Matt?
Yeah, 100%.
So Lee would like to know what's the difference in pressure between being a chef in a busy restaurant and being on a TV show?
Well, a TV show you can walk away from.
Yeah. A restaurant full of people, you have to get through it. That's what's crazy.
We've talked about that too, eh?
So many times.
Serving is like that too.
Oh yeah, even front of house. Like so many times I've been at a POS system on the verge of tears going, weighing out the pros and cons of just leaving. Going like, I could just, but if you're the chef, you can't. You have to finish. I mean, you could, but I mean, there goes your career pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk out, I mean, that's a negative stamp on your resume. You'll never get a reference. You know what I mean? And especially if you own the place as well.
Right. Oh man, that's the thing. The pressure is I can't even imagine. And when you own the place, you're first one in, last one out. Often it's just like relentless.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that 18-hour day I was talking about on Chop, that was an average day when I owned a restaurant, and it's you really have to buckle down. But yeah, so the main difference is, it's your livelihood versus fantasy, basically, I guess.
Right. Wendy says, which ingredient was the hardest to work with when you were on Chopped?
Hardest. Probably not the hardest, but like the least excited and the least I did with it was the gummy bears. I was like, what am I going to do with a gummy bear? Yeah. So I just melted them down and made a sauce, which is like the easy way out. I called it like a gummy bear gastrique or something ridiculous. And I just kind of melted them down and kind of spun them. And when you look back on it, there's a million things you could have done, but it was in the heat of the moment, and you have 30 minutes. So
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the play. You give it a fancy French name, and it's just there it is.
Exactly.
Julien, one of our friends, Michelle, a good friend of Julien and I, is Michelle, and her husband is a chef, and she said Luke loved working with him, so he must be a chill chef. So I thought I would just pass that compliment on
Luke
to you.
Castillo.
Oh, Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Great guy. Yeah, that was my first restaurant job at Rouge in Moncton, and Luke was chef there when it was a French restaurant back in the day.
When you met it, you work with Colin and Troy?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Luke is a phenomenal guy. We went to a food show together in. Luke helped me compete in my first year at Great Kitchen Party as well. He came in and helped at the competition.
Oh, cool.
We went to a food show together in Halifax one year, and we had a great time. We'll just leave it at that.
Eric says, what does he say to young cooks that know everything? I feel like you answered that question already earlier, huh?
Sort of, but I really, and it just depends on the cook and how they're going to take the information and how they receive it. But I sit down with them and find out what's important to them and what drives them and why they're doing what they're doing. And what's so odd? Sometimes it's sometimes it's as simple as, I don't know, seemed like a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, so you really kind of feel out each situation, because everybody's different and everybody's gonna process the information differently. So, it could be something as, I see young chefs for young cooks who have phenomenal talent, and I really just try to give them as much constructive criticism and guidance and encouragement as possible. And then there's those who, aren't very serious about it. They like cooking or whatever. And they're, they tell it's right now at this point, it's probably not their path. You encourage them, of course, but the talk is different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have a friend who's obsessed with blue cheeseburgers, and he would like to know what the best condiment would be on a blue cheeseburger, in your opinion.
A burger with blue cheese, or like
Yes.
a blue cheese inside of a burger? Or...
Oh, well, I think he's assuming it's on top, but I'm sure inside
Okay.
would work too.
I like blue cheese. I always like to balance my blue cheese out with something a little more sweet and tart.
Okay.
One thing that we do is a smoked onion jam.
That sounds
insane.
amazing.
Yeah, so we do basically chop up onions and we smoke them till they're like super, like probably like half an hour until they're broken down. And then we put them in a pot with tons of sugar, vinegar, and a little bit of water and just cook it down like jam. And it's smoky, it's rich, you get lots of umami. So yeah, that's what I probably do.
There's your answer, Matt. He always watches, or Matt that asked the question. He always somehow wedges a blue cheeseburger question in there. It doesn't matter who's on or what we're talking about. He'll ask a blue cheeseburger question, and there you have it: smoked onion jam.
Oh, that
as a
sounds
condiment.
so good.
And I think if you don't want to make something yourself,
Yeah.
I'm sure gourmet grocers have like smoked
Right.
compotes, or maybe bacon jam is a big thing right now. You could probably get like smoked bacon jam or something like that.
Right.
It just can't, blue cheese is so rich, so you have to be careful.
Do you recommend anybody remove their gallbladders as a preventative thing to eat more pork? To eat more pork belly? Because I can't stop thinking about. Geez, maybe I'll do it just to ham it up.
Just to quantify what I've talked about that. So when we first opened, when I was with Tide and Boar, when I first moved to Moncton.
Yeah, Tide and Boar.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So when I first opened it, like pork belly was everywhere on our menu, and we would cook like 2 to 3 bellies a day. And for those who don't know, that's a lot of pork belly. And I'd have to try some every day. And for like 2 years, I was tasting everything on the menu every day to try to make sure, we were putting out what it should be. And I just got super sick and wasn't feeling well. And I got, all the scans and stuff done. They're like, what's your diet like? I'm like, well, every day I eat, pork belly, French fries. We do, truffle this. I try our pâtés or foie gras. They're like, wow, you need to eat vegetables.
Because fat tastes good. Fat tastes super good.
Fat is where it's at, right?
Yeah.
That is like,
Yeah.
that was my, world to live by for many, many years. Not so much anymore, but it does. It tastes so good.
Yeah.
Like, why is fried chicken so good? Why is it so good?
I know.
Because it's fat, fried, and fat.
butter right there.
Right?
Butter.
Right?
I feel like I would, hey, Jules, I've had issues myself with, if I eat too much fat, I get that pain. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people in that same boat, and I could see how if you're in that all the time, you probably get addicted to the fat too. You kind of want to eat it all the time.
Yeah. And it's like, well, when I was working at Geo in Halifax, I would stand on the line on the pass overnight and expedite and call orders, and every single morsel of food that was put on plates, they thought I always have to make extra so I could taste it. And we're talking like every plate. So every time we do make, say there was a risotto on a plate, then risotto would be made for that plate. And then I'd taste it before it went to the dining room. And then we put it on the plate. And I was swallowing all this food. And I put on like 28 pounds or something stupid in a few months. So, and back then it was like, my metabolism was great. I was young. And I had to get, after like a couple or a year of doing that, I'm like, I can't be swallowing this food. I can still taste it and like spit it out or something. Because I was eating the equivalent of probably like 5 main courses in the run of a shit.
I know what you mean, because that job that I was talking about earlier when I was 18, my first serving job, we had this fresh baguette. And I had to cut it every single time for soups or whatever. And it was really good bread, really fresh. And we had whipped butter. So every time I would cut some bread, I know, so good. I would have like a piece of baguette with some whipped butter on it. And then anytime I'd cut cheesecake, we had really good cheesecake there too. Delicious, like homemade, like really good ingredients. And then every time there's that extra cheesecake on the knife. And, and I would eat the extra cheesecake on the knife. Don't worry, I'd wash the knife after, guys. This was pre-COVID.
I can just picture you just licking this big serrated knife in the kitchen. This isn't cheesecake. This is my cake. Like,
and I gained weight too. Even at 18, I had gained a bunch of weight. And I was like, why am I gaining weight? It's like, because you don't realize every lick of cheesecake knife and every whipped butter piece of baguette, second on your lips.
It's so good. And then,
so good.
And now there's a thing called deep fried cheesecake.
Oh my god!
Should be criminal, right? It's I am not, like, I'm kind of over cheesecake until they decided to deep fry it.
Yeah. So
you can kind of deep fry anything and make it better.
I know.
It's true. We did that in the kitchen once. This guy Kyle Woods, he made it his mission to deep fry everything so we could try it, and he would deep fry everything. And every day we'd try it. Man. And it was funny because even if it was bad, we still ate it. It was good.
I know, it is good.
How could you go wrong? Just
Matt's being so generous with his time right now.
I think
feel like it's getting kind of...
Well, you've heard it here first. Deep fry everything and get those gallbladders out. And
that's the message of the day. Julie, before you said that you're on some sort of cleanse or something right now.
Well, I do intermittent fasting, so I'll eat throughout the day, but then not eat for 16 hours. Is it 16 hours?
Yeah, you eat during an 8-hour window. You probably know about intermittent fasting, eh?
Yeah. Okay. And do you find it's benefiting you?
Yeah.
It makes talking to a chef in the morning very difficult, but otherwise it's.
Do you get angry?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I do definitely get hangry, but it makes that first meal. So today I can eat around 10. That first meal is so good.
Actually, I feel like
congratulations.
You could eat earlier.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't even know. There are all these benefits that come from doing it, and we do a couple times a year. We do like 30 days of no dairy, no gluten, no sugar. Yeah, it's good to reset. You kind of reset the system,
Yeah, exactly. And as you get older, you kind of need that. You kind of need that health, that added health in life.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of those foods can be a slippery slope into regular life when really ultimately they should just be a treat, right?
100% cheesecake knife.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Matt, thank you so much. This has been great.
We could talk to you all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is, before we go, if you have just a minute, I'd like to just do it like a selfish plug. If that's
Please
okay.
do. We're just going to ask you that.
We would love that.
Yeah. So I started a new business because, I have all the time in the world. With my business partner, April. Our company's called Some Good Foods. So we are about to launch a reimagined freezy using all natural fresh pressed juice.
No way.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's also hydrating because we're adding electrolytes to keep your the kiddos and yourself hydrated during those warm summer months and after activity, and just an anytime snack. They're delicious. They're made with all natural juice, so it's just the ingredients. It's a clean label. They're gluten free. They're everything that you need a treat to be, and there's no added sugar. We're talking about 5 ingredients. You have, fresh pressed apple juice, fresh pressed cranberry juice, and fresh pressed blueberry juices.
Yum.
Ooh, that sounds great.
And just some electrolytes. So I would love to send you guys up a sample. If you could, Jen or Julien, just send me a message with your address. I'll send you some up to taste.
Absolutely. We'll taste it right on the air.
Oh, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, so we've been working on that. That's just the first of a bunch of food. We have a lot of innovation coming down the line. So look out for us in your local grocer.
Some good food. Do you guys have an online presence yet or anything?
Well, not yet. So we're only about 6 months in. We're doing our launch in New Brunswick for this summer, just to get our proof of concept. And then by February, March of 2022, it'll be across Canada.
Can you tell us the name of it again one more time?
Some, SUM, good. That'll be the name on the package. Name of the company is Some Good Food. So it's basically our idea is Atlantic Canadian fruit plus hydrating minerals equals the sum of all things good.
Got it.
I love that.
Some good food. Well, follow at Maddie Pennell on Instagram to stay up to date on that. I'm sure you'll let us know there.
Absolutely.
And follow the Chef Matt Pennell Facebook page as well, like that. And thanks again. You've been great. We'll have you on again. It was a real good chat, and we'll I have to have some of your food now. Next time we're in Moncton.
Oh, I just want to tell you how much I love Tide and Boar. I love Tide and Boar, and we didn't even get a chance to talk about how you were the owner. Like, did you start the restaurant?
Yeah, myself and my business partner, Chad, and his father were another partner. We started it, and I was there for 3 years, and then I sold my shares to those guys. And when I'm away, I was kind of. It was so much fun. I'm so glad that I did it, and they're still going strong. And they just opened up another spot as well called Tide and Boar Brewing, which I hear is great. But I was just I hit that burnout, and I think this is a conversation for another day because I could go on forever.
Yeah.
But I could. So it was just time to explore other avenues of the industry. But lots of fun there and lots of learning moments as well.
Well, you've done so much in your career. I mean, that Chopped, all the championships. Really, it's amazing career that you've had, and we're so grateful that you're here to talk to us today.
It was great.
Well, thanks for having me. It was a blast. I feel like I'm actually watching you guys on YouTube with the volume off, so I feel like we're in the room together.
That's great, man.
Yeah, you guys have a great day.
Okay, Maddie, you too.
Thanks for having me. Oh, you're waving. Hi. I'm waving back. I can't tell. I was waving back at you like you could see me.
All right, we'll chat soon. Thanks so much.
All right, take care, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Thanks. There he goes.
Oh, that was great.
That was really, really great. I'm telling you, I am so fucking hungry right now.
I know, right?
All of the talk of the pork bellies and the things and the that's, I'm starving.
Let's eat.
Matt Pennell, there he goes. Has it been, what time did we eat yesterday?
Early, remember?
Oh yeah, like 3 or something.
Like
we
can
such a messed up schedule. We have dinner at 3:45. In bed by yesterday late, 8:30. That was late.
Yeah.
Didn't sleep enough, but up at 4:30. Yeah, Matt
eat.
Pennell. Follow him at Matty Pennell. Here, I'll throw his Instagram up again, right there.
What a nice guy.
Look out for some good food. SUM good food. Yeah, we'll eat those freezies right on the air.
Definitely.
Defo.
I'll be a customer. I meant to say to him.
That's a very Shark Tank thing to say of you.
I will definitely be a customer though, because I love the idea of the electrolytes. It's also a kind of a healthy dessert. You know, when you want something sweet after dinner, I think that would be a great market for them too.
I can't see myself investing at this time, but I will be a customer.
That's not true.
What do you mean?
You'd invest in it.
No, it was a Shark Tank thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, you were playing character. Got it. Okay.
yeah. That's not true. Just to make sure nobody's feeling gets.
Wendy says Matt must come back. Yes, we have.
Yeah, we'll definitely have him back. I feel like everybody we have on, we could have back, because as soon as they leave, I think of all these questions that I wanted to ask. Like,
I know.
Today, tomorrow, I'll be like, oh yeah, oh shit, I should have asked that. So we'll definitely have him on, and we'll see him in Moncton at some point in a post-pandemic world. We'll
definitely
have some food or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's the show for today. I've got to go pesh. Be sure to please review and rate on your favorite podcast platform, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page, youtube.com/Julien Dionne Show. Like this video, share it on Instagram @Julien Dionne Show. You know, we're all over the internet. So thank you to those who tuned in live and brought some questions for Matt. That's always a good time.
And we have a great guest tomorrow.
Wrong file.
We have an excellent guest
tomorrow. Tell us about the guest tomorrow, Jen, our guest.
So we have a guest tomorrow. His name is Darren. He owns a company called Authentic Ginger. And I'll just leave it at that to kind of pique your interest. It obviously has something to do with redheads and gingers, and I am one. We bonded on that, and we're going to be talking to him tomorrow at, I guess, 7:30-ish.
Around the same time,
Eastern Standard Time. And show always starts at 7. We usually have guests about a half an hour into the show, just FYI. So we have 2 guests this week. So we're starting to get more and more guests. If you have any suggestions for guests, please email us at
jdshow@lemonpress.ca. jdshow@lemonpress.ca. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Jen, love you.
Julian, love you.
I've got to go pesh again. It's the having 2 liters of water before the show.
Maybe just do one. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you do listen. But until then, watch your head.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Got a degree in what I'm not. You spend your life looking for what you already got. Such a beautiful waste of time. Waste of time. A beautiful waste of time. It's just a waste of time. Wandering eyes and itchy feet. I'm just a thin, nervous shadow walking backwards down the street. The landing is bitter, but the falling is oh so sweet. It's just a waste of time. A beautiful waste of time. It's just a waste of time. The whole world wants a piece of my head, but they all get a piece of my mind instead. I roll over and go back to bed. It's such a beautiful waste of time. A waste of time.